Hare. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yeah. Now it's on the floor, it's getting stuff on it.
The height has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Yeah, just pick up the pin.
How to balance life when one spouse prefers the spiritual path while the other prefers worldly pleasures. This is a fairly common combination. So when you see couples here, you feel really they're blessed. It's not usual at all that both husband and wife, both of them are, even if not equally interested, at least one supports the other. So I find often the spouse is coming along with because of the spouse. Sometimes woman comes because of man, sometimes man comes because of woman. And you can see, how a person is a little struggling, lost, whatever it is, but still they come to the classes, to retreats, to whatever. And so that is a great spirit. I think this is what the purpose of marriage is, to support each other. And I guess the spouse that prefers the worldly pleasures expects to be supported, and the spouse that wants the spiritual progress also wants to be supported. So I think both of them should come to a certain agreement, Each one goes halfway, and that is how they meet halfway. If the other one is ready, sometimes people are not ready. I'm not ready to meet halfway. I do what I do. If that is so, then nothing can be done. But if you can invoke from the other person, meeting halfway, then we ought to meet halfway also. Then sometimes you have to go to a movie, and sometimes you do things. Swami, I go and sleep there, but they go anyway. So balance can be there only when there is an understanding between two spouses, where we accept that we are different, that our tastes are different or our needs are different, and we respect each other. Now it is not necessary that the other spouse has to be pursuing the same spiritual path. Both of them pursue one, as long as they do not come in the way of each other, and as long as they support each other. Meaning that what happens is that one spouse that is pursuing the so-called material pleasures generally is not happy with the other one pursuing the spiritual. What are you doing? What does this Swami? So generally there is a very dismissal attitude, and try to dismiss them, ridicule them, try to prove them wrong. Or sometimes it happens, in which case this balancing is difficult. Otherwise, you can each one pursue freely what you want, and as long as the other one doesn't come in your way, well, okay. Let them be happy with their pursuit, you can be happy with your pursuit. As long as this does not bring about any kind of conflict between the two, so long as it doesn't need to be balanced. Unless one insists that the other one should do what I'm doing, and you should not do what you are doing, you should do what I'm doing, then it becomes difficult, then this kind of question can arise. But otherwise, preferences can be different, and one can pursue worldly pleasures. What happens is worldly pleasures requires company usually. So it's difficult. Spiritual pursuit also requires company, but perhaps less than what this material pursuits require. Here also you like to have company. You like to have support, and like to have a spouse also come with you, and then so that there is something common to talk about, common discussion, things like that. That would be an ideal situation. And many couples are fortunate to have that also. But as long as the other spouse, in spite of quite different pursuit or taste, does not interfere, does not come in the way of our pursuit, so long, it's okay, I guess. You pray. That some of you have been praying for a number of years. Finally you came to Gita class. So sometimes it happens. That one spouse prays and prays and prays and prays and God please give him the right sense, etc. And sometimes, normally that fellow comes and he comes to escort her to the class, but then drops the class and then goes away. That's a very common thing. He doesn't come inside. Someday, for whatever he had to come inside and listen to the class, oh, this is all right, So sometimes the prarabdha may change. And, so we pray that it may happen. But no way to balance unless there is an agreement. Each one is willing to understand the other and accommodate the other. And hopefully go halfway. This question came anyway. So can you please clarify the symbolism of the chapter 15 Ashwatha tree? Especially why is it said that the Vedas are the leaves of the Ashwatha tree? So some of the things I just left unsaid, because if I said everything, that the 4 days is a very short time anyway, and so we have to rush a lot of things, and sometimes you just get sort of lost in a verse and you find that the whole hour is gone, but that verse, all the details were left because they were not very important. So Lord Krishna describes the tree, samsara as tree, and calls it Ashwatha, which is the people tree, which is a religious tree. It's also called Ficus religiosa, because it's a religious tree, and this tree is worshipped by the devoted in India. You go to Rishikesh, there's a huge Ashwatha tree right outside the hall. And you can sometimes see some people coming from the town, village, and going around and pouring water, and the thread is around. So they worship. And supposed to be, it's a dwelling place of Vasudeva, Lord Narayana. So samsara also is a tree, all right, but really dwells by Vasudeva. It's the Lord, in fact, who dwells in this tree of samsara also. And may not know, but this is just as the Ashwatha tree is the dwelling place of Lord Vasudeva Narayana, so also is the samsara ultimately dwelling place. And also it is called tree, as we said there, because it can be cut asunder. And this tree of samsara also can be cut asunder by the sword of knowledge, so therefore also it is called tree. And the tree has leaves. What do the leaves do? Leaves do two things. One is they protect the tree, and they cover the tree. The huge trees that we see from distance look so beautiful, that's because of the leaves. The leaves provide the beauty. At the same time, they also cover or veil or hide. So many defects in the tree, but in the trees, sometimes there are holes and things like that, because some birds have made them, some animals have made them. And so all those things, but the leaves cover them and give them the beauty. So also Vedas cover all the defects of the samsara. So Vedas don't tell you. So by leaves is meant the Veda, primarily Karma Kanda section of Veda, which prescribes the actions and desire prompted action, that by performing a given action you get a given reward. But that will again bring about another action and so forth. So, in fact, they perpetuate this life of tree, of life of birth and death. But they protect this tree. The tree of samsara can be protected only when you perform actions, because actions will bring about the results called karma phala. And those results will create some reaction, happiness or unhappiness. And happiness creates raga, and happiness creates dvesha. The raga dveshas leave impressions and create further desires and further actions and further results. That's how the Veda in the form of Karma Kanda perpetuates the samsara, the tree of samsara. At the same time, they also teach you dharma, the righteous way of life. In that sense also, they protect you by, even though they prescribe the desire-prompted actions, those actions should be performed based on dharma, righteousness. So while this dharma, in course of time you grow and you become mature, someday to realize that this is not the way, that fulfilling desire should not be the purpose of karma, it should be something else. So in that sense, the Vedas also help you grow. So therefore this chandas, chad, there is a dhatu or a root called chad, stem root, which is pravarane in the sense of avaranam, in the sense of veiling, rakshane in the sense of protecting. So these leaves, they veil the defects in the tree and also they protect the tree and also because with all the photosynthesis that takes place in the leaves, and so because of that then the capillary action is initiated, and that's how the tree gets its food. Without the leaves the tree will not survive. So in that sense, the Vedas by karma, they protect, they perpetuate the tree, and also they praise the karma phala. It's called Arthavada. Arthavada is, you find in the Vedas, they praise for heaven, and praise for the rewards that you get by karma, and that's how people are tempted to perform the karma, and that's how the chain of karma phala continues. So by praising the karma phala and enticing you to perform karma, it's like a salesman. And salesman will not tell you what the problems in his products are. They will only highlight the advantages. So this Arthavada also highlights advantages, not telling you that heaven ultimately is binding thing, So that part is not told. That means they also cover up the deficiencies. In that sense, they are like the leaves, Vedas. So therefore, the Vedas are called the leaves of the tree of samsara. All the discussion did not have much relevance to what we were talking about, so that's why we skipped it. But, people feel that you are not doing enough justice, Swamiji. Uddesha of debates between the students to help clarify understanding. Is there some organized way to have such fruitful discussions? So we have this Gita Vichara group. Purpose is Vichara. Vichara means, in fact, also means inquiry and also means the discussion. So Gita Vichara groups are meant as discussion groups. And ideally, they assign to everybody that, all right, next week or in the next meeting we'll discuss next 5 pages. 5 is too much. This is a Gita home study. 5 pages takes 1 month. 1 or 2 pages, let us say. Some portion that everybody should study. Ideally, everybody should study, spend time with that. Think about it. And if they have a question, they can note them. And then when they meet, then each one is asked to explain what it is that they have understood. In case that person has some question, the questions also are raised. If questions are raised, other people try to answer them. Other fellow comes. If he has something more to contribute, as compared to what the previous person said, that person will do. If he has some questions, he will ask. So that is how ideally the Gita Vichara group is meant to get clarity. That is called Mananam. Shravana means listening, and Mananam means to get clarity on what you understood. So thus Vedanta prescribes Mananam as the process of gaining clarity over what you understood during Shravana or listening to the teacher. So these Gita Vichara groups are meant as a setting for Vimananam. Sometimes people are very busy, they don't have time to look at the things, and therefore they just come as they are, unprepared, and therefore. So to keep them coming, so all right, we'll read right here. So many people just read in the class. So it's one paragraph, other paragraph, third paragraph. So Swami keeps on giving concession. All right, you read there. But if you read, you don't have a chance to think about it. But anyway, read and hopefully you think about it and some discussion happens. But if the preparation is done beforehand, then the discussion will not get distracted also, because a lot of distractions also happen. People of their own, they don't stay with the subject matter and things like that, and other people get a bit irritated. But anyway, something is better than nothing, and therefore it's a good idea to have it. But this Vichara group is meant as Mananam. A Mananam is a discussion, not so much debate, as a discussion for gaining clarification. Debates usually are challenging each other. So in our culture, Vedic culture, there was called Shastrartha, meaning the debate on the meaning of Shastra, meaning of what the scripture says. So there were debates on dharma. What is dharma? What's the right way of doing something? And then that will be taken up. So all these, in India there is what they call Kumbh Mela. Every there are Kumbh Mela every 12 years. The sadhus meet, thousands of them. But one of the reasons there was meeting, and all these discussions will take place. The dharma discussion will take place, discussion or debates among the different schools of thought, and each one will argue a point and try to defeat you, and then you argue another point. And so that's called Shastra. You present a standpoint, the fellow, he refutes, and then you come out, and he refutes, and he says, and you refute, and that's how this was encouraged. These were healthy debates. There is no, emotional problem here. They understand. Afterwards, they don't have tea those days, but then they sit down and have meals together, and so. But at the same time, when they are discussing, they are like the opponents of each other. I'm right and you are wrong. That's the idea. So different ways of debates called Vada and Vitanda and Jalpa, and so different tools are used for proving a point or disproving other fellows. Sometimes you twist the arguments also, you can misguide others also and see whether the fellow is sharp enough to, etc., etc. Anyway, so, but in our case, as I say, if really these Gita Vichara groups are properly taken advantage of, then it will give you the clarity. That's the purpose. How do we engage in new activities or new projects, even in respect of seva? Aim for seva is one, and there are similar projects also. How can we engage in this new activity of seva or service, community service, without planting roots of attachment that become attachment of burden later on? How do we do that? You see, attachment does not come in one day. It's a slippery path. You're slowly sliding. So get your new pairs of slippers. Good. That's nice. And so start wearing them, they're comfortable, they look good, people. So slowly and slowly you wear them, and then you start liking them, and then that like slowly grows and becomes an attachment that you must only that thing now and not something else. So attachment doesn't happen in one day, it grows. And we have to be just watchful. That attachment is coming. Mind, you are getting attached. Watch out. So we have to be alert. with reference to how our mind is responding or relating to something. The relationship is one thing, but a relationship where you are getting some kind of pleasure out of something can be a slippery relationship that you can slide into that to a point when you cannot do without that. So that is called attachment. An activity also can become like that if it is an escape distraction. If you are carrying out seva activity also to escape from something, and then that seva activity starts giving you some kind of gratification, then it's likely to become a cause of attachment. Otherwise, you remain, not that you don't enjoy it, but it's not a means of gratification. It's not a means of escaping from something. It is taken up as a means of your self-growth. And if that clarity is there, alertness is there, then chances of being attached are less. If I am speaking to someone who is considered a wiser, it is natural that I ask their opinion. Well, Nachiketa knew he was talking to Lord Yama. Should he not have said, Lord Yama, you know much more than I do, so please, you decide what is best for me and give me that. It can be. It's possible that you know what you want. It's not that you do not know. Sometimes you know what you want. And then you can ask the wise person that this is what I want. Both ways. This also has happened. In one Upanishad we find a dialogue between the teacher and the disciple, where the disciple says, you give me what is best. So Indra and Pratardana, this is Kaushitaka Upanishad. It's a dialogue with Indra with the teacher. And so in the Chandogya we talked about Indra was a disciple. Here Indra is a teacher. And Pratardana is a great king, very valorous and courageous king. And has helped these devatas in battling against the demons, and that's how helped them win these battles. And therefore Indra is mighty pleased with him. He says, well, what do you want? So he gives him a boon. What do you want? What can I do? He says, give me what is best. Now Indra knows what is best is Brahma Vidya. No, you cannot give Brahma Vidya to anybody and everybody. So whether this person is qualified or not, how do you know? So there is a dilemma that Indra goes through that, I don't think that he is really qualified to receive the knowledge of Brahma. So I have already promised him. So I have to fulfill my promise. And that's how proceeds to impart the teaching of Brahman. But there he just said, give me what is best. And whatever his thought was, but Indra knew what is best is Brahma Vidya, you follow? And so when Pratardana asked for the best, Indra is obliged to give what he considers best. This is Brahma Vidya. So sometimes that also happens, when you do not know what you want. But when you know what you want, the disciples go and ask specific questions. Like Kathopanishad, specific questions. Mundakopanishad, specific questions. Kathopanishad, specific questions. Prashnopanishad, specific questions. Most Upanishads, the disciple, the aspirant comes and asks specific questions. Not tell me what is best. This is what I want to know. Because there is also a tradition that you must ask for the knowledge. This knowledge should be imparted only to one who asks for it. The asking is not a formality. We need not have to look upon them. Asking question means that there is in you a jignasa or a desire to know. Asking question reveals the jignasa or desire to know. And our Swami used to say that when a person asks a question, then show that he himself has gone through it. He was struggling to get the answer and he has not been able to get it. That's why he is asking. And also from the very question, you also understand the questioner. The purpose of asking question is that the questioner is revealed. And the wise teacher doesn't necessarily answer the question, but answers the questioner. So even though in so many words, Arjuna asks, what is the bhasha? Means the language of the wise person. How does he walk and how does he talk and how does he sit? Literally this is what it means. Sthitadihi kim prabhasheta. How does he talk? Kimasita. How does he sit? Vrajayadiki. How does he walk? Now, Lord Krishna doesn't tell him the style of walking and style of speaking. These words are all interpreted, by what we call the implied meaning, and then it describes that are the characteristics of the wise person. So that's how the teacher comes to understand the student, where the student is coming from. And that's how the reply should be given. So that's why we say that every Upanishad is unique in that sense. But every Upanishad is a combination of a different set of teacher and the students. And students come up with the questions, which are all different in different Upanishads. By different, I don't mean that they are asking for different things, but in different ways questions are asked. In one Upanishad, question is, what is it? By knowing which everything is well known. Other Upanishad says, what is it? Because of the eyes see and ears hear, what is it? So this shows how the student has deliberated himself or herself. So some kind of a deliberation or churning must have gone on there before asking the question. And the student teacher will answer the questioner through the question. So it is not necessary that after you tell me what is best. Then that means you don't know what you want. And then that is the teacher may not say, okay, you better find out what you want, then come to me. Think about it. Think about what you want, then come to me.
Here is a question of boon that is granted, not a question.
Yeah, the boon. But then the boon is encased in form of question. Here, the boon is encased in the form of question. Similar, this boon thing comes, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also. Another story. That King Janaka, who was a wise king, and sage Yajnavalkya, of course a wise man. So apparently they happened to be together in some ceremony. A big yaga was going on. And a dialogue took place between them where sage Yajnavalkya asked King Janaka some questions about this Agnihotra, karma, etc. And the reply that King Janaka gave, Yajnavalkya was very satisfied. He was so happy with the knowledge of King Janaka that, okay, I asked you, I give you a boon. Ask for whatever you want. So King Janaka says that I reserve, it's a rain check, I reserve. But I will ask the question of my choice. He didn't ask that time. So Kama Prashna. Prashna means question. Kama means that is desired by me. And so I reserve my, this wound that you have given, and I will encash it someday in the form of a question. And so once upon a time, so King Janaka was such a one that great scholars used to come to his court often, because if nothing else, whoever comes gets a lot of gift. And whoever comes has something to give him. So if you give whatever little knowledge anybody gives, it can be any knowledge, astrology, astronomy, anything that this person knows, he gives to king. And in the return, king gives him gifts of so many cows and so forth. And so the Brahmanas would go there when they need sense. Yajnavalkya also goes there sometimes, but so this time Yajnavalkya said that he would go and ask King Janaka sometimes, what's going on? What kind of debates are going on? Who came? What was the discussion? This time Yajnavalkya thought in his mind, I'm not going to say anything. Now if he doesn't give permission, then King Janaka cannot ask him. You cannot ask a question unless you have the permission to ask. So every time Yajnavalkya gave permission, and so Janaka had asked, this time I'm not going to say anything. But that boon was there. And so this time King Janaka did not need the permission to ask question because already that boon was given in the form of a question of your desire. So he initiates and asks the question. So sometimes the boons are encashed this way. Depends on who is the recipient of the boon. An American-born person studying in India, a Jyotishi, an astrologer, made prediction of my death this next year. Health restricts already, and I don't know how to respond to prediction, to accept, reject, ignore. Any suggestion?
Ignore.
Well, another story will tell you. One sage in Maharashtra, a well-known saint. Once upon a time, a man came to him and said, please help me, I'm restless, I'm all very anxious. Please tell me a way by which I can become free from this anxiety. So the sage tells him, then I will tell you later. But right now, looking at your forehead, I predict that 7th day from today you're going to die. That fellow left. After 7 days, the sage visited him. This man is lying in the bed, but there is a total peace on his face. So what happened? How are you feeling? I'm totally at peace. What happened to all your anxieties and worries? He says, you told me that I will die after 7 days anyway. I will die after 7 days anyway. So I said, oh, if I'm going to die, let me settle all accounts. So whoever hurt me, because I carry a lot of resentments of people who hurt me, resent, anger, I forgave all of them. I'm going to go away anyway. So kshama. And so hurts are dealt with. So hurt is dealt with, but by the way, by what we call forgiveness or kshama. Being large-hearted and forgive them. Okay, he did something. Okay. I had hurt many people. I was feeling guilty. I went and sought their kshama. So I became free from guilt. So thus, whatever was outstanding accounts, I settled all of them because I was going to die after 7 days. So now I'm free from all accounts. I'm totally at peace. So this is your answer. You wanted, how to get peace of mind. So use that 1 year for that purpose, Settle all the accounts. You're prepared. I mean, not that I would worry about what the astrologer says, But suppose somebody said, rather than being afraid of what will happen, as Shankaracharya says, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte, Sannihite Kale, Nahi Rakshale, Dukrum Karane, a Mudhamati, oh deluded fellow, Worship Govinda. Worship him. Let him be your goal. All your other activities are not going to save you at the time of death. Do that. And so, in fact, you are lucky. People who have been told they got liberated, like, there was King Parikshit, in the Puranas, who was cursed that he would die on the seventh day. This was a very great king and a very pious king. And he went for hunting once and he got lost, and then he was so hungry and thirsty, and God knows what happened to him. So he went to a hermitage and seeking some, water and whatever. And he sees a sage there who is absorbed in meditation. So the king was, because of his hunger and whatever happened to him, he just got upset and thought that this fellow is just posing, pretending. So he takes a dead snake and puts it in his neck. And then son of that sage comes and discovers that this is what has been done to my father, and he cursed, who was ready to die in 7 days. Parikshit came to know that he's going to die on 7th day. What did he do? He gave up everything. He renounced everything. All his kingdom, everything is renounced. He went to the bank of the Ganges and then sat down there. When he did that, it just happened that a great sage whose name was Shukadeva happened to come along there. He learned that, hey, this King Parikshit has given up his food and what everything he has given up. So he came forward and gave him the discourse on Bhagavatam. And by which knowledge on 7th day he got liberated. So there are people who benefited from this news that we are going to die. It's up to us. Whether to be always afraid, no, or either very anxious, or good. Thank God that I have this much time. 1 year is okay, it's a long time. Who knows tomorrow? Who knows? If somebody told you are going to live for 1 year, that's a big thing. Because nobody knows what's going to happen next month, next moment. Nalini dalagada jalamadi taralam tadvat jivitam atishaya chapalam. Says Shankaracharya that like a drop of water which is precariously resting on the lotus leaf. But the water does not touch the leaf of the petal of the lotus. So that at any time that water drop will roll away. When we roll away, any time. That's how the life is. Unpredictable. And so when it will roll away. So don't wait, even for 1 year. Don't wait. Start from now. That's one way of responding. Other ways, don't bother. Don't believe in that. But everybody's going to die. Nobody's going to survive forever. And so it's 1 year or 10 years or what it is, we don't know. And so it's not that only person is told you're going to die after 1 year should prepare. Everybody should prepare. Each one is going to die. And recognize that it's only Govinda worship. That is all that's going to come with me. Rest is all going to stay here. Everything else will stay here. What will accompany you? Only this dharma will accompany you. And only this word of maturity, knowledge. That's what Upanishad says. So tam samanvara vete vidya karmani. All the vidya meaning knowledge and maturity that we have got. And good bad karma that we have performed. Pura prajna and the wisdom that you gain. This comes with you. Everything else remains here. So what comes with you is called your preparation. It's a journey. When you prepare for a journey, you also prepare for, you may get hungry, so you carry some food and some water and stuff like that, isn't it? When you perform journey. Nowadays in the aeroplane they used to give food, but now they don't give anything now. It's a long journey, 6-7 hours. So you carry some food, some water, etc. So just as for journey, you prepare, carry things. So this is the journey. And what is going to come with you? This prajna, the wisdom, the karma, the result of your actions. So therefore you build up that wealth to take with you whenever death comes. We are not inviting. We don't want to die. But same time, who knows? So prepare for that. Right? Can the act of prayer reinforce the wrong notion that I am a limited being? Can the act of prayer reinforce the wrong notion that I am a limited being? Is it a matter of perspective? How is one to avoid this pitfall? I think the point seems to be that when you pray, you are accepting that you are a needy person. So it looks like you seem to be only validating your neediness and your limitedness. So this act of prayer, does it not reinforce? You are accepting that you are needy and you are praying to fulfill that need, and so your neediness is validated by you, is reinforced. So will not this act of prayer reinforce the wrong notion that I am a limited being? Answer is no. It is true that every action involves kartrutva or sense of doership. So prayer also involves the sense of doership that I am praying. But doerships are of different qualities. Tamasic doership, rajasic doership, sattvic doership. So doership is always there. Even a karma yogi also has a sense of doership that I am doing this. What Lord Krishna wants that this kartrutvam or doership is slowly transformed from tamas to rajas and rajas to sattva. So there were certain actions which transform the doership from rajas to sattva. So prayer is one of those. So performing karma as a prayer, as an offering, all of this involve kartrutva or doership, but slowly to change the doership from rajas to sattva. Then comes the next step of knowledge. So, no, prayer should not reinforce. Prayer does come from the notion that I am a limited being, but it is an action. That is the potential of slowly making you free from the sense of limitation. Because it invokes the grace of Lord. Why is chapter 15 of Gita recited before eating? See, if you look at the 15th chapter, the text, but that doesn't give meaning, alright. But then, the fourth title, last page. So if you look at the second verse from the top, the second line, Lord Krishna says, Pushnami chaushadi sarvaha somo bhutva rasatmakaha. Lord Krishna says, as soma means moon, rasatmakaha. So moon is looked upon as the embodiment of rasa or juice or sap. So moon is the source of all the juice and the taste and nourishment. So Lord Krishna, I am the moon. And sarva aushadhi pushnami. I provide nourishment and taste to all the aushadhis, to all the vegetation. Meaning that the food that you have, which is made from these vegetables, it is nothing but Lord, because Lord says, I am the moon. And then I enter all the vegetables as a taste and the nourishment. And so, that I am that vegetable which becomes your food. The next says, Aham Vaishvano Bhrutva Praninam Deham Ashrita. Lord Krishna says, I am the very Vaishvanara, which here means the digestive fire. Vaishvanara means is fire. But what kind of fire is determined by the context. So Vaishvanara Bhutva. So I am the digestive fire who resides in the stomach of all living beings, and I digest all the food. Meaning that I am the eater of food. Lord, as vegetation, becomes the food that is eaten, and Lord is the digestive fire, he becomes the eater. You follow? Then further, Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivishtaha, I am the self of all seated in the heart. So one is performing the act of eating also is him. What is eaten also is him. And one that digests also is him. So this is what Lord Krishna reveals about our act of eating the food. That if this is what we keep in mind, then even this act of eating also becomes an act of worship. I look upon the food as Annam Brahma. Yes. Brahman, Ishvara informed that food. Another thing is, when you perform a fire ritual, called yajna, then what you do is, you take in your ladle, a wooden spoon, some material and offer it to fire. Oblation. So in the main act in a fire ritual is taking the oblation and offering it to fire. So take the oblation such as ghee, clarified butter, in a spoon such as a wooden spoon, is a ladle. It's called chamas. So here that's what you are doing. From your plate you take one morsel of food. That's the oblation. Offer to fire. That's the digestive fire. The food also is Ishvara. The fire also is Ishvara. The offer also is Ishvara. So if this is what we keep in mind while eating the food, then that very process of eating itself becomes the process of worship. And there also Shankaracharya says that one who looks upon the eater, the consumer, which is fire, fire always consumes. Moon is always consumed. Moon always embodies the food. And the fire always is consumer everywhere. So here is fire, consumer, and out there is food that is consumed. And so this yajna is going on, offering. Keeping this in mind, Shankaracharya says that all the defects in the food, all of them they do not affect you. The food always comes with its own defect. Everything comes with its own problems and defects. Whenever you accept something from anybody, all their problems go along with that. And so nothing comes free. So when somebody offers you food, then when you eat that food, some papas also come along with that. Because the food can have different kinds of defects. One is food itself may be impure. Think that you should not eat fish and fowl and this and whatever. So very jati, but the very species of food is faulty. Sometimes the vessel in which the food is cooked also is not clean. Adhara, dosha. Sometimes hair and stuff like that falls in the food, also foul, So the person who is cooking also doesn't have the right frame of mind, and that also goes into food. So sometimes at home, a woman is cooking and he is angry, and you do that cooking, all that goes into that, you see. And the money with which you have bought this food, whether that money has been earned by fair means or foul means, all of that also gets reflected. So when you eat food offered by somebody, all the baggage comes along with it. So there are people in India who they do not eat in anybody's place, and some of them would not eat food cooked by anybody else. They cook themselves and eat. Or there are many who will only eat at their home and nowhere else. Look at Swamis. So that doesn't come free. So all those effects are neutralized. So thus when you eat the food, this is one process, eat with idea. And the eater also is Ishvara in the form of fire, eater also is Ishvara in the form of this. Then those defects are neutralized. So that's one of the things that was said, by the way. So because of these verses, in fact, that we chant in this 15th chapter before the meals to remind us. Is it true that meditation Om is good for brahmacharya and not good for householders? Usually, the mantra Om is only sannyasa initiated into this mantra. So when the Guru gives you sannyasa diksha, then he initiates you into this mantra. And so nobody else is qualified ideally. These days there are no restrictions, no boundaries kept anywhere, everybody does everything. So we cannot say who is qualified or not qualified. But what Om is that, see, until that point, before a person takes sannyasa, he was following the vow of brahmacharya. He was performing what the sandhya vandana, meaning the prayers that is done, morning and evening to sun, and the reciting of Gayatri. So he was reciting Gayatri Japa. Was one of the important rituals that he did. Now, when he becomes sannyasi, all the Gayatri etc. is also given up. So what do? That Gayatri is collapsed or compressed into Om. Because this Gayatri mantra has 3 feet. And Omkara has 3, Akara, Okara, Makara. And therefore, each foot of Gayatri is collapsed into one matra of Omkara. And so Guru says, from now on, Om. No need for Gayatri. So this is how the Om initiation is given to the sannyasi disciples. That's all I can say. Other than that, everybody does everything, so I don't know. They say that the Omkara creates Vairagya, meaning that it's possible that you may be just lose all the interest in your life and doing things. So if you have no interest and you are required to do things, then becomes a misfit. And that's so sannyasi who has nothing to lose. So he is the right man.
So Swami, is there a better mantra for householders?
Yes. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Krishna. Why do you worry about Om? I don't know why people are hung about Om and Gayatri. There are so many mantras. There are all these powering mantras are there, so Ram, 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 Ram. But you repeat that. It's not necessary to repeat Om. I will tell you tomorrow, but it is not necessary. If you want, you may. Not necessarily repeat Gayatri. There are so many mantras. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Ishta Devata. So whatever your chosen deity is there, a mantra centered on that deity is as good. In my opinion, anyway. Can you lead us in a guided meditation of Omkara so we can see how to cultivate the right attitude as we meditate on Om? I don't know, can see. What's the difference between chanting Om versus Hari Om? For that matter, people chant Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha or Om Namo etc. But Om Namah Shri Venkateshaya Namah. So in Namah. But anyway, so in fact, some of the Panditas used to advise the householders that chant a mantra that does not involve Om. Shri Krishna, Shri, they would add Shri. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Krishna, Sharanam Mama, etc. So they thought that Shri is better than Om. It's all, as I said, matter of opinions, matter of one's Shraddha. So Hari Om, both are names of Ishvara. In fact, Bhagavad Gita itself talks of Om Tat Sat as the 3 names of the Lord. Therefore, in a way, Lord Krishna seems to initiate in that mantra, Om Tat Sat. And prescribed that is repeated in order to neutralize the ill effects of omissions and commissions. So when you perform any ritual or perform any religious thing, in spite of following stipulations, it's likely that you missed something. There may be errors of omission and commission, and so change this to ward off the negative effects of those. But Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha is okay. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Swami, you mentioned about how some people think Upanishads don't give same message. Can you please comment on this? If I comment, that will create only further confusion. Even that comment itself was confusing. Now, if I tell you what they say, then that is what we'll remember. Everything else will be forgotten. I'm afraid. So, what is the Pratipaksha Bhavana for different emotions? Today you said give for grab. So grabbing, giving. Earlier we explained dealing with anger. How do we handle guilt? How do we handle grief? Similarly, other emotions, what is the prescribed text for handling emotions? So we have a small little book called The Value of Values. And one of the values discussed there is called Shaucham. Shaucham means purity, particularly purity of mind. So purity of mind is a value. And how do we practice the value? When an impure emotion arises, then you neutralize it by the opposite. And so there, some of these things are taken. What should you do when there is guilt? What about hurt? And so it will be a good idea for you to study even that value of values, because every value requires a Pratipaksha Bhavana. Lord Krishna, Amanitvam, freedom from pride. So Pratipaksha, what pride? Humility. Adambitvam, dambitvam means pretentiousness. So what's the Pratipaksha Bhavana? Honesty. Ahimsa, violence. What is the Pratipaksha Bhavana? Non-violence. So then Pratipaksha Bhavana is in this manner, whatever it that gives rise to that negative emotion, understanding the root of that, and then coming at the Pratipaksha Bhavana. So anger, for example, is because of intolerance. When I cannot tolerate somebody, that's what makes me angry. And so tolerance and forgiveness, large-heartedness, accepting the person as the person is, kshama, or forgiveness. As we said the other day also, by seeing that the person is causing you the pain, himself or herself is in pain. So respond to the person behind the behavior. We talked about the two-step response a number of times. Okay, this question of karma I will clarify in the text itself. So I went through it and we'll have to add a few sentences, should be okay. Would you explain the significance of orange robes? When we have session with children, it's always a question. Why do you wear orange? So when a child came many years ago in India, a family was visiting and they had, I think, a 5-6-year-old son. And oh, Swamiji, the upper cloth also orange, the sweater also was orange, the socks also were orange. Swami, you eat oranges also? But orange is a color of fire, and fire does two things. Number one, it burns impurities. So when you want to purify metals such as gold, we subject it to fire. It burns all the impurities in gold and the gold comes out pure and shining. And second thing that fire does is it gives you light. It burns and it illumines. Two things fire does. Illumining means it dispels darkness. Similarly, knowledge also, fire is a good symbol for knowledge. Knowledge also first burns impurities in terms of wrong notions and then dispels the darkness of ignorance. The orange, which is color of flame, of fire, is a symbol for knowledge. And there were those who are committed to the pursuit of knowledge, they wear this orange. Fire also used to be a place where all sacrifices took place, all offerings took place. So one in whose life sacrifice. In this case, the renunciation is a primary thing. So orange also signifies that. During Om meditation, what should we focus on? Any idol of our choice or Om symbol itself? Let us see, tomorrow morning we may have spend a few minutes in concluding our discussion on the Omkara. See if it gives you any further clarity. Okay. So, we'll do some more here. On what basis the mind's nature pure sattva? Meaning, how do you say that pure sattva is the nature of mind? Is that the question? So, if we look at, if you study Tattva Bodha, or is an introductory text in Vedanta, which explains the process of, so Vedanta is its own model of creation. Then Tattva Bodha explains how first the five elements are created from the original cause called ignorance or Maya. So ignorance or Maya consists of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So from this Maya or ignorance, first the five elements are created: space, air, fire, water and earth. And then each one of them carries also Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, all the three aspects. Then the process of creation is shown how first the creation takes place from the Sattva aspect of the five elements. The Sattva aspect, each element gives rise to the corresponding organ of perception, and the combined Sattva of all the five elements gives rise to the mind, Antahkarana. So basically mind is made of Sattva. But then on account of our aviveka, non-discrimination, we inadvertently allow the demons of Rajas and Tamas to enter. So that's how the mind has become impure. And still, Rajas and Tamas are called impurity, but still they are not the inherent nature of mind, so we can get rid of them. So just as purity is the nature of water, and the dirt can come in, which can be filtered because it is not inherent nature of water. So impurity or Rajas Tamas can be removed because they are not the inherent nature of mind. Because mind is inherently Sattva, so it can become Sattva. If you are changed into Rajas, you can't change it. You cannot change something. You can remove what is incidental or foreign element you can remove. So Rajas and Tamas are foreign in the mind, so they can be removed, and mind can be again brought to its original status of Sattva. So that's how, as Vedanta teaches, that mind is made of Sattva. Because Sattva is where knowledge takes place. So we have faculties of knowledge, organs of perception and mind, they were from Sattva. So Rajas action takes place, all organs of action, prana from Rajas. And Tamas is gross and dull and tangible. So from Tamas all the tangible things take place. So that's how the creation is explained. Okay. Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Nanda Govinda Ananda Narayana Nanda Govinda Ananda Narayana Nanda Govinda Ananda Narayana Nanda Govinda Ananda Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Nanda Govinda Ananda 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 Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Nanda Govinda Ananda 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 Narayana Nanda Nanda Govinda Ananda Narayana.
Nanda Govinda Ananda Narayana.
Nanda Govinda Ananda Narayana.
Nanda Govinda Ananda Narayana.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhaved Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityo Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.